Once you've set up your ad group or groups, then you can create your ads. Now, these are the ads. This is actually what's going to appear in Google, either on mobile or you can see on desktop here. And so we really want to create these so they grab the searcher's attention and that they're going to click through. Now, as they recommend here, you should create at least 3 ads that closely relate to the theme of your keywords. And the reason that you'd want to do that is so that you can test out a couple of different headlines, descriptions, and see which one really performs the best. Now, in this video, I'll just set up one ad to really walk you through the process of it. And you can go ahead and create a couple of extra ones for yourself. So the first thing that you want to put in here is the final URL. And this is really the landing page or the page in your website that you'll be sending people to. So for example, for me, that could just be my website / the product page name. And you can see that this is being updated down here. Next thing that we want to put in is our headline, which is appearing here, headline 1, headline 2, and the description that's appearing underneath. Now this can be a little bit intimidating to do, and what I would really recommend is rather than reinvent the wheel, just come into Google, really type in your product or service and just have a look at the ads already appearing for that underneath some of your keywords. And what you really want to do is have a look at some of these ads and really have a look. What are the headlines that they use? Are they catching your attention? Do they really make you want to click through? What are some of the things that are really catching your attention? 81% were promoted after the course. So that's a pretty good metric. I'm not sure if I could use that personally because I don't measure that. But there are some interesting things here. Now, oftentimes you're not going to see an ad that's maybe perfect. So what you can do is look at a similar product. And for me, for example, this could be, if I don't see any ads that I like here and I don't find any good headline ideas, I could do something like type in ethical hacking course online. So essentially it's still an online course, but it's a different product. And by just changing the search term slightly, I can look at how other similar products, but different topics, are being advertised. So now I can see a couple of better headlines that I could use for myself. So I like this layout here. Let's say headline 1, marketing course. So it is a great idea to put your product name directly in the headlines so that when people look at this ad, they can go, yep, that's exactly what I was looking for. Now we've got the headline 2. I think this is pretty good. Enroll today and get 20% off. So enroll today and get 20% off. So again, no need to reinvent the wheel. Just use what's already out there. And then what you can also do is really, you can see that there's 30 characters here that I can use for this headline 2. And you can think about how could I use those last 6 characters to maybe squeeze more out of that. Then you have your display of the URL. So you can see that I've put in my URL that I want to send people to. And I can really decide, I can really just take this and put that in there. And that can appear here in the search terms. Now you can see that this is a little bit too long. So what I could do is marketing course, maybe just leave it at that. So there I had to play around with it a little bit to try and make sure it fitted in. And also you can come and look at how other guys are setting this up as well and see if you can fit it in the same way as them. So it can be a little bit tricky to fit everything in, but you can just play around with it until you do. Now here in the description, we've got 80 characters to play with. So let's come back to some other ads and see if we can get a couple of ideas here. So what I could put in is learn digital marketing. Let's say go from beginner to advanced. I think that would be pretty appealing to people. Maybe something like 30-day money-back guarantee I could include. And that's pretty much hitting the 80-character limit. So you can play around with that as well to really find one that's good. And then you can go ahead and click done. And then you're ready to go ahead and click save and continue. And then if you come up to ads and extensions, you can actually see your ad here, and you'll see that status is under review. So this won't go live automatically. Actually, Google needs to manually approve the ad that you put out, and that can usually take 1 day. And of course, for your campaign to go live, you do need to add your billing information. And to do that, you can come up here and then come to billing and payments. And then you can really add a payment method in there in order for your campaign to go live. And that really wraps up the process to set up your Google AdWords campaign.